Welcome to the Summer Reading Showcase brought to you by the Chosen Pen Group, the Conversations with Chosen Pen podcast, and the Amplified podcast with Dr. Anissa Short. During this series, we are showcasing authors of children's books because they understand the importance of reading and literacy with our children today. Be sure to share, like, and even comment. In the meantime, we hope you enjoy the show. Hello, everybody. Great day, and welcome once again to another feature of my Summer Reading Showcase. If you've been following me in the month of July as well as this month of August, you already know I've been talking to personalities from everywhere. Children book authors who have authored children, either at least one children's book. And we've discussed their journey, why they wrote the book, why they're passionate about childhood literacy. And today is no different. I've got another phenomenal guest that I'm super excited to invite to introduce you guys to. I just met her for the first time, not even 30 days ago. But let me tell you something. She's a powerhouse. Just to give you a little information about who she is, Miss Adrianne Jackson is her name, and she has 20 years of service with the U.S. Army. 2 decades after that with the Department of Defense. So she has served our country 40 years. Can you get excited? Her career was rooted in operational leadership, strategy, and service, and then transitioning from military service to defense contracting allowed her to master complex systems and maintain a deep commitment to community impact. Today, her primary passion lies in advocating for foster care, foster children. This mission is directly connected to her dedication to early childhood literacy, which of course explains why she's here, right? She's an active CASA volunteer, that's CASA, and what we call a Grady rocker. She's going to tell you a little bit more about that. Alongside her advocacy and publishing work, she's active on social media to build awareness and support for the Estering 4GG, that's Performing Acts for Greater Good. And through that platform, she hopes to inspire performing acts that uplift foster youth, children in need, and the broader community at large. Miss Adrianne Jackson is my guest. Thank you, Miss Jackson, for being my guest today.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Listen, now that we know all the professional and the advocacy part of you, let's talk about who you are on any given day of the week.
It being any given day of the week, I'm Adrianne B. Jackson, ABJ, known as what I call myself, the Estering Queen. And it's simply what I've chose to transition to, like I say, from the military. It's just giving me the freedom to be me and do what I have a passion for.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So we're going to kick things off because, of course, we've been referencing this Summer Reading Showcase. It's a collaborative partnership where I've been interviewing children book authors, and many of them have donated books. And then later at the end of the month, I'm taking those books to a local orphanage here in my area. So I'm excited about everyone who has chosen to be a part of this interview platform, who's chosen to make donations, and or if not both. And you know what, y'all, Miss Jackson has a series that I absolutely love, and I'm going to share it with you. Her books are available on Amazon, and it's called the Welcome Baby series. Mm-hmm. Now, I see on Amazon that there are 3 books. There's the Welcome Baby alphabet song. I'm going to scroll down. There is the Welcome Baby Welcome Home book. And then there's the Welcome Baby Count It All Joy book. All 3 books are for infants to 3 years old. Tell us a little bit about this series, Ms. Jackson.
Oh, gladly, because I'm just so in love with it. Okay, so this is the Welcome Baby series, and how I got inspired to write these books was through being a Grady rocker here in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Grady Hospital. So I go there, I volunteer, I rock babies at least twice a month. Goodness, there's a long list of us who are Grady rockers. And while I'm rocking the baby, I'm reading to the baby other baby books. And that's, all about the early literacy. Read to the baby as soon as you can. And when that baby grows up, they'll just be, already into learning and
Right.
it's just been proven facts, right? So I was like, I can write these books. Some of the books are just less than 24 pages, and I could do it. I knew I could. I used to do poetry anyway as a young child. So yeah, I started. I wrote a book. I did it. So welcome baby, welcome home. Like I said, most of my from 0 to 3. From 0 to 3 years, from 3 years old, from 0 to 3 years old, you can read these books to your baby. Baby, welcome home is about the baby coming from the hospital to the
Mm-hmm.
house. Welcome baby, count it all joy is about sharing with your baby, all their fingers and toes. I got it here too. And then welcome baby, the alphabet song is my new version of the alphabet of the ABCs. And you're singing the ABCs. There you go. Got that
I
one too.
love it. I
Hmm.
love it. Let me tell you what I also noticed about your books are the diversity of the images, the people, the characters. Was that intentional?
Absolutely, absolutely. I want everyone to feel like they can get a book, a book written by Adrian Booth Jackson, because inside that book, you're going to see yourself. No
I
matter
love it.
what you look like, you're going to see yourself in my books sooner or later. It might not be this book, but it definitely will be in a collection. You're going to be there.
I have a great appreciation for that because oftentimes what we know, especially when it comes to the community of color, there's representation where representation matters, period. Let me just say it that way. Representation matters, period, no matter your ethnicity, whether you may have a disability or not, whether you're young or more mature, representation matters. And one of the initiatives I was involved in several years ago, and actually even with Dr. Pam's event that we were both participating in at the end of July, is she was very intentional about pulling in more children of color with the literacy, with the festival. And it wasn't as prevalent at this event in Atlanta, but she has in times past had representation such that her books, even the books that she's authored, are in English, are in Spanish, and I think also in French, because
Right.
again, representation matters. So I have a great appreciation for that. However, you choose to exemplify that, because it speaks to who you are as a person, and you realize that the variety is the spice of life, and
Absolutely.
no one feels isolated, no one feels left out. All of that's good. What kind of reception have you received with regards to your books?
Well, all my friends have loved the book. I've been bringing the books around and going to bookstores because I'm new at it, but I'm ready for it. So I've been going to bookstores, making sure they know about my book, making sure, like I said, I have it on Kindle. I'm going to libraries. We're going to get these books out all over the world. That's my goal. I'm not going to stop until they're just well known, and and everybody knows what it's about, why we're doing it, and I don't see why anyone wouldn't be interested in at
I
least reading the
know.
book to their baby. It's so sweet.
Creating collaborative partnerships mean a lot to me, and that's one of the things I've been very much intentional about. Because while you're out yourself doing what it takes to market your book and to get your book in the hands of people, when you can partner with other people like those bookstores, like the libraries, like organizations, and then they can in their own way support you, whether that be to allow you to do a book signing there or keep copies of your books on your shelves, then that means your efforts can be multiplied. Have you thought about something? Now, I'm going to share an idea with you. I don't know if this is
Okay.
doable because I haven't even acted on it myself. But since you're my friend, I'm gonna go ahead and share with you as well.
Yeah.
So in the city of Memphis, I was in at the airport a few weeks ago. Well, last month, as a matter of fact. I'm doing a tour of the airport, and I realized that our airport is going through a lot of changes, a lot of renovations, and they're upscaling, and they just got a lot planned for the airport, which is exciting. And one of the things they're going to do is, how when you go to airports, there's the Delta Lounge and there's the American Express, and then as a veteran, you have your lounge for veterans and things of that nature. They're creating what they call, and I don't want to mispronounce it, but basically I don't want to misrepresent the name, but basically it's a community lounge where every average person can go. You could pay a subscription fee, whether that be per visit or, if you're a frequent flyer. So it's not going to be respective to any airline, but it's going to be a place where everyone can go. And so my idea, Adrian, is to talk to the necessary representative to see if I can have a reading corner and sponsor books for the reading corner, because for moms who are traveling with small children, especially nowadays when you subject to have a layover at any given moment, I thought it would be a great idea to have a reading nook in those lounges so that the kids can be um, engaged and entertained.
Oh yeah, I think that's a great idea. Yeah, put anywhere where you're going to have children and then they're going to
Yeah,
be in the airport. So yeah, if you got a little corner with some books, the kids are going to be pulling mom and dad over there you know, like kids do. They want, if they're interested, they're going to be, very much, yeah, wanting to do just that. Go over there and get those books so somebody could read to them. So what's your idea? The book, because I can see it now. I see
because
the
I want to go and talk with PR and see if they would allow me to partner with other children book authors, and they donate, just like like this particular project is providing books to an orphanage in the area. I want to do the same thing again, to repeat this project and then to talk about the books, and then those authors make donations of their books to be placed in the lounge at the airport, right? Are you at the now? Let's go back and revisit your Grady Rockers. Tell us a
okay.
little bit more about that project, or that. Yeah, I guess it's a
So
project. The
yeah, okay.
initiatives. Tell me about it.
Okay, so becoming a Grady Rocker does take a little bit more than just volunteering to do it. You do have to, pass all kind of tests, take all kind of, do all kind of lab work, and then of course there's a background check. Once you get through that, because it took me about a good at least 90 days to like
Okay.
do everything I needed to do, and I could go to VA and get all my tests and stuff. So my stuff was free, but it did cost a little bit. It does cost a little bit for people who um, have to pay for those labs. So once
Right.
you get through your labs and your background check, and then of course they speak with you, and now Grady itself has taken over that process. It used to be a third party person who was
Okay.
making you a Grady Rocker, but now the Grady Hospital itself is the one who takes you through the whole initiative of becoming a Grady Rocker. So, but when you do, you're so happy, and so you get a badge. You get a badge, and that badge allows you to, enter into the hospital. And you go on their website. It's called VicNet. You go on there and schedule. You say, okay, I'm going to do it. You see what the calendar comes up, and you can clock in your time. And
Okay.
then, so that's why I always try to get on there, and they let you know the calendar's open for the month of July, August, like that. And so
Yeah.
you go on there, say when you're going to go, and then you show up, you got your badge, you can enter in, and you go to speak to the nurse. You go to the ward, because I rock the babies in ICU.
Okay.
So you go to the ward and let a nurse know, hey, I'm here, I'm a volunteer, I'm a Grady Rocker. Everybody's supposed to know who
Who the
you are.
Grady
Everybody's
Rockers
still
are?
being
Right.
informed, because of security purposes and all that, so they know who you are on the floor. You got to wear gloves. You got to put that little um, like a little gown on over you. They got, for you to put on. You got to be good, got to be ready for the baby.
Right.
But then you sit down, the nurse sits you. The nurse is glad to see you because she can get a little break. You only do it in like 2-hour intervals. So the nurse is really glad to see you because they get a break. They got other babies, they still checking on you, but yeah, they'll give you the baby.
How
And so
long have you been? How long have you been doing that?
it's over a year. I definitely
Okay.
been doing it over a year. I don't know exactly because the process takes so long itself, but I've actually been rocking babies over a year.
That's awesome.
I've
I
been
I
there
commend
through
you
the
for that.
process. I, I,
I
I
know
love it.
there's
It's
something
rewarding.
very soothing about holding a baby, a tiny baby.
Oh, I love babies so much. And so I was always like, if my friends have, and my daughter did not have a baby. I only have one child.
Okay.
And, I think she's punishing me. I don't have any grandchildren. I was just waiting for my day. I knew it was coming, and it never came.
Well, is it too late? It's not too late. It could come. It could come any day now. I guess maybe. I don't know. I'm not gonna get. I don't want your daughter upset with me. Someone dropped a. Let's talk a little bit about your advocacy for foster care, because for you to be a Grady
Advocacy for
Rocker.
foster care. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
How did that come about?
Because I just wanted to be involved in children's lives because I know they need us out there. Um, um, I myself have been a kid who has lived with foster children. My mother did foster care.
Okay.
My mother just did it like as respite, but I have an aunt who has adopted, foster children, and we were
Mhm.
raised together. So like they pretty much don't even they know they're foster kids, but it means nothing because we was all raised together. They only know my aunt as their mother. They only know me as their cousin. So, we're relatives, and I know that foster care is a wonderful organization. Anybody who's providing foster care, those parents, and my mother, I seen her just give everybody love, open her home. I was the only child and never was ever alone in my home because there was always either a foster child. My mother and my father was house parents for juvenile delinquent boys when I was in New York City. So I never
Okay.
was alone, and I like having people around me. So that's why the babies and then the kids, I know that they just need more than me being there for them. They need someone, um, well, more than me being there for them, just present. They need someone who always, who's looking out for them, making sure
Yeah.
that they are in the proper home. I've seen where
Right.
it's not always good. You hear about it's not always good. And so as a CASA, I'm a court appointed special advocate. I had to swear in with the judge, at Fulton County here. And what we do is at least once a month, we have to go and visit the home of children who are in foster care. You get assigned a
Okay.
person, and well, I have two, and you go and you just make sure they're right, like how you doing, and then while you're
Yeah.
there, you checking out the house. Um, it's just great.
I
You get
love
a chance
that.
to make sure that child is comfortable and safe, and that to me is um, rewarding. Just
I
making
love
sure.
that.
Then you have to do a report back to the courts, so your visit matters. And you can visit the schools, you can talk to the attorneys, you can get all up in their business, and I'm still just a volunteer, but I'm court appointed.
I absolutely love that. That speaks to your heart. It does. It speaks to the fact that you're multi-layered when it comes to caring for children or looking out for children. You are the Grady rocker, so you're there about, and you're being there to read to them, to sing to them, to hold them, helps with the development. Then you decided to author books, that people could read to the children that are 0 to 3 years of age, which
Mhm.
also, when children are being read to, it helps with their development, their brain development. So you're looking out for the care of the child in that capacity. But then, as a result of CASA and advocating for foster kids, you're doing the same thing again, but just a different way. Just have you thought about your books? Are your baby series going to continue? Or have you thought about writing a book that has to do with foster children?
I know the baby books are going to continue, and I am thinking about uh just some other, I'm doing 0 to 3. I want to do 4 to 6. I want to, just kind of go up a little bit. I actually want to get into doing an activity book.
Okay.
Okay, I think that's going to be brilliant, even though it's I don't want to say, well, I find it's going to be a lot more harder because of the things that I want to do with that activity book. I want them
Yeah.
to be able to, like, use it on Kindle and all the other stuff. So the activity book is going to be something I'm going to have to probably dig a little deeper to get into
Yeah.
to
I can
accomplish. But
understand.
that's okay. I like challenges, right? I like this was a
Right.
challenge. This was a challenge every step of the way, every book, every page. You know, and dealing with illustrators. It's just
Right.
not the easiest thing to do, but it is definitely rewarding.
It
Um,
is.
it is. It is. I just wanted to say this, Dr. Short. I have been given a baby because you go to Grady Hospital and you're in the NICU, and these are babies who can't go home yet for whatever reason. It could
Mm-hmm.
be they haven't grown to the full capacity. They're not eating right yet. They have to wait. They cannot go home. So mama and daddy is waiting for them to get you know ready, get to full strength.
Right.
So I've been given babies that like they come to me and they're pretty much the nurse gives them to you, and they're pretty much shaking. And I get the baby, give him a good little hold, put him in the uh, cuff of my arm, and then just start reading to the baby. I like to start off just like letting the baby know that you are great, you're beautiful, you're brilliant, you can be whoever you want to be. I pump them
Right.
all the way up. I pump them all the way up. And then I get up, I let them know I'm getting ready to read to them. And I just start reading. And that baby, I felt their body just stop shaking, just
Oh,
calm all,
wow.
come into you, and eyes get, nurse come check on them, and they be like, okay, you know, that is
They
why.
connected. They're connected. You calm them. You calm them. That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. So your website is estering.com. I want everyone to know if they want to connect with you in any capacity, to find out more about your work, is estering.com. And let's take a peek at this website. Do you see this this water? I mean, when I was like, this is what I'm talking about right here. So
Yeah.
I know you mentioned that the website is under reconstruction, so some changes are due to be implemented. But if people wanted to reach out to you, they could go here, estering.com, learn more about you and your works and all of the good stuff. What else do we have? Let's see, we got information about you.
Hi, I'm Adrian.
There
I'm a
you go, your
podcaster,
podcaster.
native New Yorker, twin.
ABJ, that's your those are your alphabets, I get your
Yeah,
initials,
that's my initials.
right? Okay,
Adrian
initials.
Jackson.
Talk to Taya.
Talk to Taya. That's my mother's nickname. Now I'll
Taya.
probably be changing that page,
Okay.
but that was an initiative that I tried to start. That I think maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself.
Okay.
So,
No,
but talk to Taya
I
page. Those are
understand.
things that are products that I
You love.
right,
They're your
right.
favorites.
That's like
Well,
an
you know,
affiliate page.
well,
That's like
here's the thing. Everything is an evolution. I tell people it may not be perfect when you start, but just start and you can always change it. That's the beautiful thing. So your website, you said you might be making some changes. Oh, here your
within
Amish
the next
Concord
10 days,
popcorn.
I'm trying to get involved with uh, someone right now. We're going back and forth. We're like, what can you do for me? Get this page together,
Yeah.
and and so he's going to give me 10 days. We're just trying to
Hmm.
figure out the timing.
Okay.
And that's a coloring book that I
I
created.
just noticed that. Right. So tell me this. Are you an affiliate of the company, the products that you have?
Yes, right there with through Amazon. Amazon,
Yeah.
affiliate.
Okay. Yeah, that's smart. You're so
So when
smart.
someone
Oh my
clicks on
gosh.
that and then purchases it, any of those items, even within the next 24 hours, even if they click on it now and didn't go back within the next
Yeah.
24 hours and purchase that and decide they want it, you know, Amazon gives you some
I
coin.
love that. I love that. So, do you have anything coming up soon? Anything that, maybe some secret projects that you haven't revealed to the world? Any new
Yeah.
books coming out soon?
Oh
Anything of
yeah,
that nature?
oh yeah, oh yeah. We're going to keep the train going. So I'm actually okay. So this is the first series. The trilogy is the Welcome Baby trilogy. The
Okay.
next trilogy is Hey My Baby. Okay. So that's coming out. Two of those books, one is already out and also being sold on Amazon. One is in the works right now in the hands of the illustrator. And so I'm going to do one more book, and that'll be a trilogy there. And then
Okay.
I'm going to have to get to that activity book because, it's challenging me to do it. So I definitely want to do it. And then my books, I did want to say these particular books are all, I'm the author, so I've written every word, and my illustrators are it's hand drawn. But I am going to do an AI book because that also is a challenge, right?
Yeah.
So I do want to do a pure AI book and see how that comes out. So that is
Okay.
also on my list to do next.
Your bucket list. I get it. I love
Yeah.
it. I absolutely love it. Well, I appreciate you once again for saying yes to my invite to be a part of my summer reading showcase, as well as just sharing with us your advocacy. Many of the guests that I've had, I would say the majority of them are educators or former educators, right? And so for them to become a children's book author to some degree makes sense because they've been in that space as a teacher, as a that type of thing. But when you find someone like you and myself that have never worked with children, but you found something you were passionate with in your volunteer work, that speaks volumes, and you're deciding to be a children's book author, I would like to believe is just an extension of the heart that you have for babies and for foster children as well. it's good to see that there are layers to you that make sense. They parallel, an educator writing a book that parallels, that makes sense. But because of your work with, as a care advocate, because
Mhm.
of your history and life experience of having foster kids in your home and cousins that were once foster children that are now family, and then of course you're being an advocate of foster care and choosing to write books that serve to nurture babies, that all makes sense as well. You must feel really good to know that you are doing what you love.
Yes, yes, yes. And Dr. Short, you just don't think because I'm over here in Atlanta that I won't come to where you are to support you in any way, fashion, or form. Because if I got the time, I'll be there. So please include me
Oh,
in
absolutely.
what's going
Oh,
on. So give me
absolutely.
the opportunity at least.
Absolutely. Listen, I tell people this often. Now that we're connected, you're almost stuck with me. So you're a part of my community now. You're a part of my tribe. So anytime I'm hosting any events that support authors, or anytime I'm initiating or curating events that focus on literacy, as the director of the Chosen Pen Group, which is a hybrid publishing company, one arm of what we do, and many people that are watching have heard me say this. I have a one platform that's called Books and Bridges. And Books and Bridges is about partnership, building bridges to support projects that emphasize literacy for children, whether that be hosting events or being a part of events like Miss Pam had, or
Right.
me hosting something like this to support other children book authors, as well as supporting organizations that feed and or nurture or work on the development and care of children. So yeah, we're
Thank
family now. We're family now, Miss
you.
Jackson.
I appreciate that. This has
Yeah.
been wonderful. I've enjoyed myself. I feel comfortable. I
Well,
told you first
thank
I was
you.
nervous.
Thank
So
you.
all my nerves have calmed down
Well,
because of
good. Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you again for being a guest, as I've said before. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being in this space with us today. As you know, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Central, there's Conversations with Chosen Pen. On Wednesdays at 12 noon, I host Amplified with Dr. Anissa Short. Both platforms focus on different guests, but our objective is the same, and that's to amplify the voices of others, whether you be an author, creative, entertainer, or involved in the extracurricular that supports the culture. I would love to have you as a guest. And most importantly, I would greatly appreciate it if you shared this episode with the people in your community. Until next time, thank you for being with us. And I look forward to seeing you real soon. Make it a great day.